Welcome to this sales demonstration video on the InterAcct Standard System Bill of Materials system. In this video we're going to look at how to set up a Bill of Materials BOM, as well as how to put in a production job to make those items. There are other options within the manufacturing system, namely kit conversions, quick production, and the quick production system for chemicals and paints. For more information and details about these other production systems, please see those videos. We're looking here at a product item. It's already been set up in the software. We've marked it as being part of a particular group and category. One of the questions when we were asked when we were setting up the item is this an item that we're producing, or is it an item that we buy in? It shows us here what the last cost to make that item was, as well as what the average price has been for the stock that we have, and a suggested sell price down here. There's information under these menu links that link through to showing us the transactions that have occurred under this product item, or to set minimum order quantities, etc. on this item. Those types of details can be seen under the stock videos. Under the manufacturing menu, we're able to see here what a normal production run would involve. We can have this quantity being another number other than 1 if we've got a situation where we're wanting to make a large number of items that are very small, and it's difficult then to try to work out how many seconds it might take to produce a single item, or exactly what materials are going to be needed to produce a single item. So we work it out based on a large quantity, perhaps 100 or 1,000, and then it's easier to be able to then work out what a more accurate cost per item is to the nearest cent. Our production items have a number of different operations available to them. You can have no limit to the number of operations, and when we're looking at the operations, they can either be involving labour and or machines or subcontractors. You can see that this operation has a subcontractor. We're identifying who our normal subcontractor would be, what the estimated costs for them to do the fabrication in this case, and what markup we might want to add to that. These markup figures that we've got in here, as well as the ones that we had under the labour and the machine, come back to a suggested sell price for the produced item, and if we've selected down here to update the sell prices as well as the cost prices, we'll change the item's cost and sell price back here underneath the product setup. We can also have a number of different material items attached to a bill of materials. When we're looking at a material item, we've got what our last cost was and standard cost for it, as well as sell prices. It shows us how many of them would be required to make one item, as well as what's currently available. Most of the places within InterAcct, when we're seeing information on an item or any other data, we can link back through to the source. So if we wanted to see where this item was set up, we could click on View Stock Item. We can see who our default supplier for that item is. In this case it's an overseas supplier, so it's got details of import shipment costings relating to that. We can also have sundry costs attached to a production, and those sundry costs can be either automatic overheads that have been calculated based on the labour and materials that have been put there, or they can also be other sundry costs that we're wanting to add to the production. There is 2 standard BOM printout reports that are included with the other software on a setup of a BOM. There's a simplified version of a BOM printout and a multi-level bill of materials printout. We can see here that this base assembly item actually has some labour, other materials, etc. that are related to it. It indents those items further in so that we can see that they relate to the header, and all the other information pulls through over here. We're going to have a look now at a production job. We're going to go into the Jobs menu and add in a new job. We can have different types of jobs within the system. In this case we're just going to set up a manufacturing job. We can put in a small note about what this relates to. The system reminds us that we should enter in the quantities that are needed on this job. We're going to make some for stock. We can have multiple end destinations for our production quantities. We can have it relating to different sales belonging to different customers, or to different sales project jobs in the system as well. The manufacturing screen then has 6 steps that we can do for our production. This first step is going to look at the standard bill of materials setup and pull through the suggested items based on the quantity that we need to produce. It gives us the option to be able to print out a factory order, which looks very similar to the BOM printout that we had underneath the BOM setup, as well as a materials list that we can give to the factory floor. The next step, if some of those items that we require are not in stock, we've got the option to raise automatic suggested purchase orders. We can filter this process to only order items of a particular group, or a status code, or a range of items. The system's suggesting here 7 different purchase orders that we can scroll through. If we wanted to, we can make changes to those purchase orders to order more or less, or ordering them from different suppliers if we choose to. If we're happy with what it's suggesting to order, we can create the suggested purchase orders. Once those purchase orders have been created, we can get the system to email or print those out on bulk to send out. We can see here of the 7 purchase orders, only one of our suppliers doesn't have an email address. So if I hit this button here, it will print out the top purchase order and email out the other 6 purchase orders. I can click in to view the details of any one of those purchase orders to see the items that have been ordered, quantities, etc., and email or print those out individually as well. We've also got the option to be able to raise works orders in the same way. So if we've got subcontractors that are involved on this project, we can have the system have a look to see, and it pulls through the details of what type of work we want them to do. Once those works orders have gone out and the purchase orders have gone out, we can receive creditors' invoices and subcontractors' claims. We can enter in other types of transactions and processes on the job, including machines that have been used on the job, timesheets, other sundry costs that may have come to the job, stock issues to take goods manually from the warehouse, as well as those creditors' invoices. There's links to be able to store documents, run cost ledger reports, and all the normal functions that we have under our standard job system. If we want to, we can use an auto stock issue to pull items out of the warehouse that might be available and needed for this job. And we can see here an area that we can mark off who's checked those items off. Once we've attached all of our costs to that production job, we can then transfer the items back from the production area to stock. We can have multiple completions of production, so that if on a large production run it might take multiple days for it to complete, we can be delivered as they're completed. It asks us what date we completed the items, how many items we completed, and then what type of cost do we want to use. So the system allows you to use the standard cost that was set up under the bill of materials based on the current cost prices of those items, to use the estimated cost, which might be where we've changed what would normally be required for production just under this specific manufacturing job, and we want to use those costs for the finished items, or to look at what actual costs have occurred to date and put the items back into stock at that cost. If we use the actual cost, we do though need to complete the entire production to be able to get the costs there, so that we don't have a confusion where we may have issued all the steel needed for our production on the first day, but only completed a small number of items, so our average price of that item would then get skewed by the fact that we've got a large number of costs, but not a large number of completed items. And that's now completed those items and put them back into stock. If you have any questions about the production system or would like to see the quick production system, contact sales@interact.com.au or view the other video presentations that are available on our website. Thanks very much. Bye.